Hello and welcome everyone to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. I am Nipasa Pradhan and currently we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X, formerly known as Twitter. And before we start off, I have this very important disclaimer. By watching our videos, you understand that the information shared, including user comments, is not professional advice. Use at your own risk. Our intention is never to offend, it's just a casual exchange of ideas. So, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome, dearest friends, to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show and to today's episode of Daily Immigration Dose. Yes, it is 5 minutes past 4 Eastern Time, and thank you so much for all of you joining us today. And let me tell you that, um, yes, today we are diving into a topic that touches the lives of countless international students navigating the American dream. And before we really get started, let me also remind you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell to stay updated with all our content. And also, you can join us. The best thing about this show, Daily Immigration Dose, is that you can also join us and all you have to do is dial this number on the screen, which you can see 425 436 6335. And when they will ask for the access code, all you have to do is dial 988 888, and you just have to shout hello, and I'll be there. Thank you so much. And yeah, with this, I think we should just kickstart today's episode. And let me welcome my co host, none other than the fantastic Sam. Thank you so much, Sam, for doing this with me every day. It makes the show so interesting. So I'm glad to do this. Thank you and welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much, Napasa, and to all our lovely viewers. I'm really happy to join back again on Daily Immigration Dose that is streaming live at 4 p.m. EST. So thank you so much, guys, and thank you, Napasa, too, and it's really lovely having you also and have this conversation on daily immigration, what's happening around the world, what we are going to think about it and how Trump is going to be. So, there are so much to discuss and yeah, I'm really happy, and to guys also, you can also join us, so have this great opportunity to join us by clicking on the link that is going to be shared on the comment section. And you can also join us by dialing on the given number and typing the access code. So yeah, I think it's fine. I think we had a great introduction, and let's go ahead, Napasa.
Yes, and today we are diving into a topic that sits in the heart of US immigration and innovation policy, work authorizations and their impact, that they're going to have, whether it's science, technology, I mean, all kinds of international students. And before we really dive into the discussion, I think it's important to also clarify, work authorization. It is basically a legal authorization, a legal document that allows foreign nationals to work in the United States, and it includes permits like the H-1B visa, which is designed for highly skilled professionals in fields such as technology, engineering, and research. And these visas are cornerstone for the US workforce. This enables employers to access global talent for roles, requiring specialized expertise. And of course, the landscape of work authorizations is evolving day by day and significantly for sure. So these significant implications for industries and individuals is, I mean, it's the same. It's same for everyone because it's changing. It is evolving every day. And a recent article also highlights. I mean, there are so many. Yes. So sorry. So I was just saying, like, there are so many news recently also that talk about, how there we are going to be facing potential challenges under Trump's administration, restrictive visa policies, raising questions about, such measures, how these things could reshape the U.S. Scientific and even the economic leadership scenario. So we're going to discuss all of this today, and also discuss about the benefits of attracting global talent to concerns about protecting the domestic force. And yes, Sam will also have a couple of news, and we will discuss more further on this. So Sam, anything you want to say before we move ahead on today's discussion?
Yeah, I think today's discussion is going to be very interesting and very important too because I think there are thousands of international students in the US who are actually facing the work authorization challenges, and they are, it's like a dream for them to work in US, but still after struggling so much, they need to face so many different types of challenges that we are unaware. And if someone is studying in the US or trying to plan to study in the US, they actually have to stick around of this episode because this is really going to be a very important episode. And it's almost important, it's really important to work on all the challenges, or you need to be updated on everything that's going to be. So I think, Napasa, before diving into today's topic and before sharing our ideas and also knowing the viewers' ideas too, I think let's have a video where it's explaining in a very better way what work authorization is and what are the challenges that control. If you can play that video, it will be more than enough.
Absolutely.
Hello, and welcome to Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. Are you an international student in the US or planning to study here? Then you've likely heard about the challenges of securing work authorization. While studying in the US is a dream for many, navigating its complex visa and work regulations can often feel like an uphill battle. In this video, we're diving into the work authorization struggles faced by international students, and how these hurdles impact their academic and professional futures. The US remains a top destination for global education, with over 1.1 million international students enrolled during the 2023-2024 academic year, according to the Open Doors report. Graduate students and those on optional practical training, or OPT, hit record highs this year, with over 500,000 graduate students and nearly 243,000 OPT students. India has even overtaken China as the top sending country, with Indian students making up 331,602 of the total, a staggering 23% increase from the previous year. But despite these record numbers, the barriers to gaining work experience in the US remain daunting. So, what are the options for international students seeking work authorization? Most students on F-1 visas can access three main paths: on-campus employment, curricular practical training, and optional practical training. On-campus jobs are the easiest to access but come with restrictions. You're limited to working 20 hours a week during the semester and up to 40 hours during breaks. While these roles provide some financial relief, they don't offer the kind of meaningful, field-related experience students need for their careers. That's where Captain and OPT come in. These programs allow students to gain practical experience in their field of study. However, the application processes are highly competitive and often delayed, leaving many students in limbo as they wait for approval. For example, students applying for OPT must file up to 90 days before completing their program, and it can take up to another 90 days for approval. Backlogs at USCIS have caused delays of 3 to 6 months for many applicants, according to a 2023 survey. These delays can leave students unable to start their jobs on time, creating financial strain and disrupting their career plans. And it's not just the bureaucracy. Changes in immigration policy under different administrations add to the uncertainty. The Trump administration introduced restrictions on work opportunities for foreign nationals. While the Biden administration rolled back some of these measures, the inconsistency in policies keeps international students in a constant state of apprehension. The challenges don't end with OPT. Many international students hope to transition to an H-1B work visa after graduation, but this process is even more competitive. The H-1B visa has an annual cap of 85,000 new visas, and selection is lottery-based. These barriers have significant consequences, both financially and emotionally. Many students rely on the ability to work to fund their studies and support themselves. Without access to reliable work opportunities, they face increased financial pressure, stress, and even mental health challenges. A 2023 study revealed that 58% of international students experienced anxiety or depression tied to their financial situation and work constraints. So, what's the way forward? For policymakers, it's crucial to address these issues by streamlining processes, reducing backlogs, and providing clearer regulations. Universities also play a key role by offering guidance through international student offices and advocating for policies that support their students. For international students, the best approach is to plan ahead, stay informed about visa regulations, and seek help from their school's international office to navigate these challenges. The road may be tough, but international students contribute immensely to the U.S. education system and economy. By working together, students, universities, and policymakers can help create a fairer, more accessible system that allows these students to succeed both academically and professionally. Comment your thoughts, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Immigrations and Jobs Talk Show.
So I think we got a blueprint of how work authorization is, and basically about the topic that what challenges and what struggles mostly it happens with the international students in the US. So I think this is a quite a blueprint that we got understood. So I think now we should go ahead and let's have some news updates around the world that's happening.
Sure. Right, Sam. Let's do that. So I have a one which I've got to share, and this also is.
Mhm.
So this article outlines the potential, immigration changes under the second Trump administration, and the key points include a stricter H-1B program favoring high-skilled workers with top salaries, and then caps on H-2A and elimination of H-2B visas, mandatory use of e-verify, and increased visa fraud investigations. It suggests reforms in USCIS processes, including higher fees, restricted fee waivers, and stricter backlog management. Humanitarian statuses like TPS, asylum, and DACA may face elimination as well. So, yes, that's another thing. And policies could also end the diversity visa program and modify asylum qualifications. Legal challenges may arise to, counter these proposals. So, I think what change these are some of the changes that could come about under Trump 2.0 bring when we talk about immigration. And as we look ahead, these are the potential changes, the pointers which I just said just now.
Mhm.
And for instance, turning to the H-1B program to elite system sounds like an effort to attract top talent, but it could create hurdles for many entry level workers as well. So other than that, of course, there are plans to repeal a temporary protected status and also alter asylum criteria. This could definitely, jeopardize so many lives out there. And I mean, so many countless individuals are already residing and working here. So you can only imagine what's going to be like. And yeah, talk about backlogs and complicate the application process. I think these are some of the things that we are going to be seeing much ahead very soon. So this is a step towards efficiency or a move that risks leaving vulnerable people behind. I really don't know about that, but
Mhm.
Sam, maybe you also have some more articles to share. We can look through that too.
Yeah, sure. I would also like to, talk about some different countries like Canada, Quebec, and China too. So I think we should just have a look on about Canada. So basically, in Canada, what is happening that Canada has introduced new immigration measures that is actually supporting the individuals affected by the conflict in Lebanon. So Lebanese nationals are already in Canada, and as well as those fleeing Lebanon, so they can also apply for work or study permits at no additional cost. So this is something that Canada is taking a very different step towards Lebanese. So these measures is going to extend to their immediate family members regardless of nationality. So this is something that was happening in Canada, and a quick update about Canada. Moving ahead, we should also talk about Quebec. What's happening in Quebec is actually that Quebec has announced its 2025 immigration levels plan. And Quebec right now is aiming to admit some between 48,500 and 51,500 immigrants next year. So we can see, such a huge difference and such a big numbers that Quebec is trying to allow in immigrants, by next year. And there's also that applications from the Quebec graduate stream are suspended until mid 2025. So this is also a change that we are going to see in Quebec next year, that is 2025. And if we talk about our different country, that is China, then in China, there's temporary visa free travel that has been expanded to several European and Asian countries. So visitors, from these countries can enter mainland China without a visa for short stays, and they can also make travel for businesses, then tourism and family visits that may become quite easier. So I think these were the three states, I mean, three countries that I covered. And moving ahead, Napasa, it's up to you. Rest I'll cover after some time.
Okay. Okay, sure, Sam. That's very interesting. And folks, you saw we are going to definitely cover more on this. But I would like to just tell you that you can also join our discussion. Maybe you have dreams, you want to go live that American dream, and you're in doubt whether you want to or not, or whatever it is. And we also have Rajendra Singh joining us. So I think, hi, Rajendra. Thank you for joining us.
Oh,
And
wow.
he has some things to say. So let me just read out what Rajendra has.
Yeah, please. Why
Like,
not?
one of the most significant challenges international students face is the long and complex application process for work authorization for OPT students. For
Mm-hmm.
OPT students must submit their applications up to 90 days before their program completion date, and approval can take up to 90 days thereafter. So true. That's very true. And I think when you think about the whole process, you're already tired. But best thing is. Always consult an attorney, and they will direct you the best way and guide you through every documentation, what you need to submit, and
Mm-hmm.
so that you do it in the right way. So Rajendra, I think it's always best to consult an attorney, and we do have attorneys joining us daily in shows. We have discussions, webinars with them on different topics, immigration topics daily. And I hope you also join them. And if you somehow missed all this while, you can definitely check out our channel. We are Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. And go check out. There are so many attorneys joining us every day. And uh, we may have covered your topic as well. But uh, why I'm saying you could check out is because you can also contact them and have a consultation with them. They could guide you on your case. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Rajendra, for your views. And yeah, we have Lakshdeep. Do you want to read that out, Sam?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Happy to read it out. So Lakshdeep is saying that how does unauthorized employment actually get detected by USCIS? If I unknowingly violate a rule, will I have a chance to explain myself? Well, this is something that I also don't know exactly how to answer. I think the best answer will be given by our attorney. So, Lakshdeep, you can, as Napasa also said, that we have everyday shows and with different attorneys. So you can participate in that and you can have a right guidance because we don't want to, share some information that may harm you. So I think it will be always great to have, information from specifically from that expert person of that community. So I think that would be great. And I think Napasa, we should talk about. Should we talk about more of today's topic, or should we talk about the immigration news update? What should we do now?
Yeah, I think we should go about some. But why coming to Lakshdeep's question? I
Mhm.
think once the US CIS detects the problem, I'm sure there will be an RFE, or they will request some more proof on why is that so, or if
Mhm.
they catch that violation, and you might have to prove something. So I think let's keep it to that. And every case is different, and it's always best to consult an attorney, just like Sam has also said. So yeah, Lakshdeep. Now coming back to our news updates on today's, we are talking about
Mhm.
work authorization challenges. What are the real struggles in international students in the United States? So I have this next article, which is uh, which gets our attention to the workplace evolution in the age of remote and hybrid work. So
Mhm.
a recent study by the Confederation of Indian Industry, the CII, and Faculty of Management Studies, that is the FMS, they shed light on the short term wins and the long term worries surrounding remote work. And of course nowadays mm, it's remote work is everywhere, especially after the pandemic. We see a lot of folks who were working from home during the pandemic are still continuing to work from home, and many others even after that. So there are, of course, immediate benefits like improved work life balance and reduced commuting and also cost savings. But the study highlights, its potential long term challenges, including weakened collaboration and a diluted workplace culture, and of course rising adoption of hybrid models. When we talk about it, whether it's going to bring the best balance between flexibility and productivity.
Yeah.
So that's a big question, and I think most people, or maybe most workplaces are facing this challenge. And
Mm.
when we I think we can unpack more of this as we talk more about it. So I'll just give out some pointers. Maybe it could be easier to look into it. And one of them is employee benefits versus challenges. So the pro on this is that employees enjoy better work life balance, reducing commuting costs and flexibility, especially beneficial or for caregivers like mothers.
Mhm.
And then on the other hand, we have remote work, which blurs this professional and personal boundaries, increasing stress and also sometimes reducing motivation in many cases.
Yeah.
And we have organizational gains versus cultural losses. So companies save on office rentals and report increased productivity as well. But then on the other hand, they have challenges in fostering teamwork and also maintaining a cohesive organizational culture of work. So whether they are hurdles together, facing together, I think this is something which becomes a challenge as well with distance between the workers.
Mhm.
And apart from that, there is also hybrid work, and which is also middle path. This combines both flexibility and the cultural benefits of in-person interaction. So when it's hybrid, I think it's much better, where even the workplace is getting as much as attention, and on the other hand, it may also lead to operational complexities and unequal treatment to employees depending on their role. So things like these are also highlighted, and we will see a lot of these. I don't know, what do you prefer, or what do you see is going to happen, Sam, whether it's remote work or work from office, or this hybrid culture that's going on right now? And uh, yeah, tell what are your views on this note?
It's not exactly how, we can't predict everything, right? How this is going to be or that is going to be. But one thing is for sure that there will be some challenges, definitely. And, under Trump's era, it won't be very easy for workers to go ahead and have the H-1B workers and, to have work authorization. That will be difficult and challenging too. But if we talk about like remote work and hybrid work, then I think, personally, both the work, if we talk remote and hybrid, then I think that this sometimes, you know, uh, like people get more preference than working from office to those people. So I think there's also some kind of loss in the productivity of the work what remote workers are doing. So this is a very obvious thing that companies mostly understand, and companies mostly they know that the people who are working from home or the hybrid people, I don't think that this is going to be promoting more and more. But until and unless, I think it depends upon the employee. If the employee is completely skilled and has so much to share, has is completely like professional employee, then I don't think that working from home will be affecting to that employee. But if that employee is not working even from office also, then I think there's also no guarantee for that. So ultimately, it depends upon the employee, and yeah, that's how it should be. Because now, also, when I was talking to one of the attorneys, she also said that in 2025 we may see that there will be individual merit too. So till now, the US companies were basically hiring only, not only, but most of those employers who were employer based, visas, they were hiring those. But now they are also going to have a look on the individual merit employees too. So I think this is something that is going to be quite positive in Trump's era, and because now people, they will judge. US companies are going to judge on the merits, on the skills of what the employees have. So I think this is literally positive, and this is quite motivating too, because now people are going to work on their skills instead of just
Going
having
to
the
work harder.
experience. Yeah, exactly, and that's what keep them motivated. So I think that's how it's going to be, and we all should be motivated with what work we do. So I think, yeah, that's all we can do with how it's going to be.
Yeah, and I think wherever, I think it's always best when we have things like this that could motivate us to do
Yeah.
better, perform better, and whenever you know that there's something better waiting for you, I think you always want to perform better as well.
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
I think, Napasa, let's begin a little from the basic understanding of what work authorization is, because we also have some different viewers who may not have the understanding of what it is. So just quick review of what it is. So guys, it's basically the legal permission that is given to the international students, that international students need to work in the US without breaking any rules. And now most students come on an F1 visa, and this visa has some kind of pretty strict rules about when and where you can work. For example, there is usually a work on campus. So the students who is going to work on campus, they are allowed to work 20 hours a week during the school year. And for the off-campus workers who is going to work off campus, things get a little tricky for them, because they need some special approval through programs like OPT or CPT. So yeah, these are the quite understanding of what work authorization is. And yeah, next up, I think I should also talk about every year US receives hundreds or thousands of work authorization applications. And there's also about OPT, that more than 200,000 international students, especially those on F1 visa, apply OPT each year. And if we talk about H-1B visa, the most famous and the most popular visa that everyone wants, it's actually the US receives around 300,000 to 400,000 H-1B visa petitions each year. So we can understand that how much people are trying to work in US, how much it is important for them, to work in the US. So I think these are the numbers, these are the stats that we should know, how much H-1B visa applications that US is receiving every year. So moving ahead, I think, Napasa, now would you like to add anything on work authorization, or should we talk about the real struggles? Napasa, you're on
I,
mute. Yeah.
oh, sorry about that. So, yes, I was saying, like, yeah, we can talk more about it, but the challenges that they face, of course, despite of all these growing enrollment numbers, I think it's always it's affecting it, whatever this is. Sorry, we are addressing this. This is a very important issue, and this is
Mhm.
affecting thousands of international students out there, who are going for further studies, higher education in the United States, and the challenges they face despite all these enrolling numbers and all these changing policies
Mhm.
is a lot. And I think we can. I think from the academic point of view and professional perspective, international students are critical to maintaining the US's
Yeah.
position as a leader in higher education, innovation, and even research. Now, addressing work authorization barriers, this could enhance their contributions and, of course, attract top talent to the US universities and industries, just like you just spoke just now. And on the other hand, some argue that tightening all these work authorizations might protect U.S. workers from job displacement. Though the evidence supporting this claim remains limited,
Mm-hmm.
but this is striking a balance between national workforce protection and the need for international talent will be the key in shaping the future of immigration policy as well. So I don't know what can be done, but policymakers and universities will probably have to work together, to
Yeah.
streamline the application process and even create a clearer picture and predictable rules, maybe as far as work is concerned, work authorization is concerned. And for students, it's crucial, to stay informed and to seek support from university officers to navigate these challenges. So I think it's no matter what your status is, what your situation is, I think it's very important to stay up to date
Yeah.
because these things are, especially at this time, with the administrations changing and
Mm-hmm.
there's so many new rules coming up daily, maybe. And if you don't do your groundwork, then who will? You'll have to know what's going
Exactly.
on. And of course, like consulting an attorney is like the cherry on top, but you need to also know what's going on and what you need to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's
So,
how,
yes,
everyone should be. Yeah. And Napasa, there's one article that I would like to share.
okay.
So yeah, you can see this article. So this is actually, I would like to, yeah, this is actually from the Economic Times, and they have posted this article on, yeah, 7th May 2024. So this is actually saying that Indian students fail to land internships in US amid higher local push. So this is basically an article, where Indian students were working, I mean, sorry, in the Ivy League universities, they actually failed to get an internship offer. So this is obviously showing that how good the university is, but still there are so many Indian students who are still struggling to get the internship, and I don't know what the reason is, but here it's mentioned that the major reason is that global economic slowdown that has severely hit entry level job opportunities. So this is according to several students, education consultants, and Indian American professionals too in the US. So, this is something very eye opening that we should understand how Indian students are struggling, even after studying in Ivy League university, they still have to struggle by getting the internships, and not even the job I'm speaking about. I'm speaking about the internships. And Napasa, here we can see some words that has been said by Adarsh Khandelwal, co-founder at Education Consulting Company. So he said that there were about 400 undergraduate students in the final year in the East Coast and West Coast, including in Ivy League schools, whom I counseled over the years and who have not got any internships offered this summer. So this is something, that 400 graduate students, and this is a big number that we can't take it so lightly. If someone is spending so much money, someone is really struggling, if they are leaving their home, not just in that particular country, they are leaving their own country just to have good work culture, just to have that, money, just to live that life that what they have actually dreamed of. And now it's like after work, I mean, participating and after getting admission in such a reputed college, still they are not having that deserving thing that they should have. Even it's written that including Harvard University, Yale University, and University of Pennsylvania. So these are the universities that academic excellence and social prestige they have, but still there are students who are still struggling on this. And there's also a real life example that is mentioned in this article, that citing the example of a 22-year-old final year undergraduate student who was majoring in economics and psychology at Harvard University. So, when we get to know about Harvard University, we automatically have that thing in their mind that obviously that person is going to have a successful life, no problem, no, nothing to compromise. But still, this is a change that he has applied to numerous companies in the last 6 months, but has yet to land a summer internship. So, Nepasa, this is something I think we need to discuss really very
Hi,
much.
Sam and Nipasa. I was actually
Hi,
listening to
Rishi.
both of you. So I mean, I couldn't hold myself, and I also wanted to, have a discussion about this. So
Sure.
thank you so much, firstly, for adding me. But I was thinking, yeah, I think the logo should be on my face because since Nepasa and Sam are hosting.
Yeah.
So, so yes, I was saying that. What do you guys think? Before that, I would request other people to please join, guys. This webinar, we are having an interesting webinar here with Sam and Nepasa. So make sure that you join this webinar. And yes, so we can also understand from your point of view. We can also engage with you and have a conversation with you about what do you think? Because I'm sure a lot of people who must be watching this show right now must already be in the US and are already there on a F1 visa. A lot of students must be watching, and then I'm sure that not only students but um, people who must have graduated and who are working right now. So if you are watching this session, please make sure to join us. And after you join us on this stream, we will be having a conversation. Maybe you can tell us that what all problems do you face in the US. And what challenges do you go through every day. Maybe Rajendra, I think Rajendra had a great comment to make in the beginning, right? So Rajendra, yes, this is what Rajendra said, that also high tuition cost unless you are on full ride scholarship, culture shock, language will be
Mhm.
barrier if your native language is not English. Absolutely. So please make sure that you join us on this stream. The number is already there. You can dial 425-436-6335. The access code is 9888888. 5 times 8. You can also join us on a call. And yes, the links are already there. So just click on the link and join us. Okay, now coming back, guys. So you guys were talking about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I was listening to the both of you. You were talking about work authorization, and then you were talking about the lack of opportunities the students are facing, especially around this
Yes.
time, especially for the last 6 months. With we have discussed so much about the inflation and economy and market opportunities, and we have had a lot of students also join us who told us about and who spoke to us about the kind of condition they are in, especially right now. They
Mm-hmm.
are waiting the Trump administration to begin their work so that they can take care of the market. And right now, a lot of things are going on in the market where the opportunities are not there. The job that I mean, especially H-1B tech employees were laid off. I
Mm-hmm.
think this news
Yeah.
was we also did one show with one of our most famous and our regular guest on our channel, Jonathan Wasden,
Yeah.
right? We did with him the show on H-1B tech layoffs and why is it happening. So a lot of things to actually talk about in today's episode, but especially talking about the struggles. Nepasa and Sam, what do you think the major struggle if when a student settles in the US or maybe goes to the US, what is the major struggle that they go through? What do you feel is the major struggle that they face, the challenge that they face?
See, honestly speaking, I won't talk about the assumptions. I'll talk about the facts. So, we already took so many interviews from immigration attorneys themselves. So, when we used to ask them what are the major struggles that they used to feel, they always used to say, firstly, the cultural struggle.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Because, Indian culture is completely different. Not overall the family culture, but the work culture too. We more focus on working on weekends too, but US work culture is completely opposite. They don't want to work on vacations. They give this importance, I mean, equal importance to their vacations too. So I think this completely, kind of different things that we can see Indians' work culture than Americans' work culture. So that is the thing that is the major problem that they face. And yeah, that's all from my side. We will talk more, but let's go to Nabasa. Otherwise, I'll keep.
Also, what do you think? What do you think is the major struggle or challenge that they face? But I would also, before I talk to Nepasa, I think Sam. But you're talking about the culture. Of course, I mean, see,
Mhm.
you are born and brought up in another country, and then you decide to move to another country. But after you are there as a student, right? You haven't still, because the country that you are born in, you haven't still worked in that country.
Mm-hmm.
when you move to the US, you go there as a student, so you don't really have the idea about the work culture in your own country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you travel to the US and when you go to the US, you study there, you go to the college, you completely, I mean, the culture is different, is definitely different, and which you will have a struggle with. But then work culture, I think, if you are going there as a student, I don't think so. The work culture will make such a big difference
No, no, no.
because
I think it
it's
will.
the
No. I'm
uh-huh.
so sorry to interrupt, but I think, even if you're an adult, when
Mhm.
you are 20, 25 years old, you can anyhow adjust yourself by talking to people how they have. But when a student is going to a different country, that too without parents or without relatives, I think it is much more difficult for them to handle that situation because uh, I'm not saying anyone that they try to demean others, but automatically, you try to create groups, you try to connect with your own types of people more rather than connecting with the other country's people. So I think this is a very important topic that, we shouldn't talk only about how the policies are, how the practical things are, but the impact, psychological impact that they have. They struggle every day, just to try to get involved in that culture. I think that's very important and that's very sensitive too, to talk about. So yeah, that's from my end. And what about you, Napasa? What do you think that what is the most
No, I
difficult?
think so. I mean, see, the thing is, you will have that cultural difference, that's for sure. But then I think, you see, you're talking about what you're talking about, Sam, here is, people will try to make the groups and, because if you're saying you come from a different culture, you come from a different background, that's another topic. But I think if you have come from another country as a student and then you start working in a different atmosphere in a different country, I think that is something that people would normally adapt to. And then after that, after working in that country, and then if they come back to their own country and then they decide to work there, then the culture, they will find that will be a shocker for them or will be different for them. This is what I feel. Nipasa, I would like to come to you and ask you, what do you think about?
When you talk about cultural difference, no, I mean, of course, there's work difference maybe, but that is a challenge, I think, for every individual. I mean, going from not working to completely working, and earlier you were more used to being spoon fed, reading, and stuff like that. But after that, you're trying to become independent. You are given few tasks, and you're going to be completing, or you're whatever. I mean,
Mhm.
that the work that depends on what the work is. But what I want to talk about is the cultural difference, like the belongingness. You were brought up somewhere else, whether you came in as a student or come here to work directly. But uh, definitely, like being from a different culture is something that is a challenge they face, and this is with regard to adjusting. Adjusting, like whether it is how they talk, or I mean, as simple to even understanding the local jokes, maybe, belonging to different cultures. I mean, if you guys are following what I'm saying, I think this is something which every individual faces, these challenges, and that is whether it's understanding jokes. I mean, every culture, they have their own how they. Every culture is different, and every culture, they have their own myths, mythologies, jokes,
Mhm.
and even um, everything is different, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is what I think, what I want to talk about. And Sam or Rajni, if there's anything you want to add.
Well, there's so much to add. But
Uh,
guys, yeah, before that, there's a voice note that we received from
Yes.
our president. So I would like to play it for our viewers.
Please go ahead.
Well, in my opinion, right, both has its own drawbacks and comes with challenges. Now, post COVID, the tradition of working from home has drastically increased, and people continue to stay at home, work at home. And in reference to the H-1B visas and the labor condition application LCA compliance, there has been a lot of setbacks, non-compliance on how the H-1B amendments were filed. it looks like a lot of employers were out of compliance and increased site visits. The FDNS officials knocking doors. You don't want an official to knock your door because the work location eventually became H-1B workers' residence. Now, this is what I would think in terms of the immigration reform that President Trump is going to bring. Most likely, there's going to be more scrutiny or enforcement, and they probably he would implement a strategy where it would probably mandate the H-1B workers to go to an office and work from the office. Number one, and uh, in reference to the other new policies surrounding, there was a news item yesterday on Fox that he wants to completely make some changes to the what they call defrauded H-1B visa program and more scrutiny on specialty occupation. This was there before. During his first term, there were a lot of RFEs and focusing on specialty occupation, the worksite arrangement, especially for in when a consulting staffing company is filing a petition for where the employees are going to work for a client, like a third party situation. So we might see a lot of changes upcoming. So continue on Green Street for 1 mile. People need to brace for uh, what's going to happen. So more scrutiny, uh, more RFEs, and we still have no clue what's going to come. But I would imagine when the first term was so tough, and the second term might be much comes with a much greater enforcement. So uh, you need to really plan now. Now another thing here, what we noticed, there are many jobs that are being shipped to countries like India. Because if somebody is, a client is paying $100 an hour, they probably, it's remote work. Either ways, you are sitting in the US or you're sitting in India. They're cutting down the cost by 50% or 60%. So the same worker who costs $100 an hour is now costing $40 an hour, and they just ship the job to countries like India or China. So this is something I would definitely advise every H-1B worker who's watching this video that you need to plan. You need to get a little more flexible, accept like hybrid work environment, or maybe just start going back to work where there is more human interaction. You have the ability to connect with peers and your supervisors, and the ability to get exposed to what's happening in the tech world today, which ain't gonna happen if you're just sitting at home and working. I personally, I don't prefer to be sitting at home and working from home. Based on my job, I can be anywhere, but then I prefer to go to work each day and make sure I'm more productive. All I can say is, I wish everyone good luck, and keep your documentation together and stay compliant. Talk to your employers. Make sure you check your H-1B file, and if there are any inconsistencies, please ensure you fix them. All right. Thank you.
Wow, that's so good.
Lovely. Thank you. Yeah.
How much you love your work, because he wakes up, I think, the middle of the night, and he starts working, and
Yeah.
then he goes to the office,
Yes.
I don't know, at sometimes at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., as soon as he wakes up. So we really know his passion towards his work, and I think that is something that also motivates us
Yeah.
a lot.
So
So,
true. So
right, so
true.
thank you so much, Dan, for that lovely
Yeah.
voice note,
Yeah.
voice message. But there's one great point that Dan actually mentioned about
Mhm.
about the wages. Now, I think this also happens with students too. So, yeah, what I feel is, the students also get scammed because see, as a student you are always, you don't have money, you never have enough money, right? And
Mm-hmm.
forget about enough money, you don't even have like you try to make your ends meet somehow,
Yeah.
right? So and just so you can do that, so you try to get a job, and especially when you move to the US, you are always you
Hiding.
don't have enough money, right?
Yeah.
So for that, you try to look for a job, you try to work, and then you're not allowed to work off campus, like outside your campus, you don't get, and sometimes it happens is you don't get jobs in your campus,
Mm-hmm.
and but then so that you can earn a little bit of money, you go outside, you know, you try to look for the job then outside your campus, and then it makes it illegal, right? And see, then you come into that illegal zone, and that you're
Mm-hmm.
committing a crime, right? You're not doing it legally. So then after you, then you somehow, when you then get a job, you try to work on maybe Domino's, McDonald's, or you know, these restaurants, small restaurants, or maybe you become a driver. So I mean, so you find some or the other job, right? So that you can earn some money. And after that, then let's suppose you have your wage is 12 $12 an hour. You're supposed to get paid $12 an hour. And then, you know, the people, just because, you know, they try to what they do is what they do is they know that you are in need of that job, and you can't also quit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if you're supposed to get $12 an hour, they don't pay you that. They pay you six
Yes. Yeah.
hours. Sorry, $6 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
right? They also scam you like that, and then you are left with no option, and then you work extra, and you do these odd jobs, and you try to look for some these kind of jobs, and so these kind of struggles also come into play when you
Yeah.
actually talk about struggles when you are living in another country, especially in the US or in
Mhm.
Canada, right? What do you think about that, Nipas and Sam?
What just came to my mind when you were speaking is what about talent? Suppose a person is a musician, or I mean, is working, of course, or is a student, but is also good with his guitar and probably sings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what about busking and getting some money sometimes? Or what about all that? What about that kind of money? Or maybe what else? Doing some handwork and being able to just sell it to your neighbor who's willing to pay you $100 for a set of hankies. I don't know anything. What about stuff like that?
So creative.
Yeah, I mean, creative people, they make it, right?
No,
What
no, I'm
about
saying that you are thinking, your thinking is very creative.
Oh no, no, no! It was just when Rajni was speaking, things were coming to my mind. I mean, as a student, that's what I mean, like I used to
I
do
don't
a
know.
lot.
I mean, I do say it. I mean, it can be possible in other countries. Like maybe it can be possible for people if they are living in India to do that,
Yeah.
right, and to make money out of that. But I don't know if it will be possible for people, and especially for the students if they are in the US, because if it was so easy, right? Because I'm sure there are a lot of students who actually have a lot of other skills, and then they try to look for, and even after having those kind of skills, they look for those jobs. And if it would have been so easy for them, I'm sure they would have also chosen this path, right, Nipasa? But I don't think so. It's that easy and it's that possible, and especially in the US, you can't do, or you can't pick any job until and unless you are licensed for it, and until and unless you really know what you're doing, and only then people are going to actually give that job to you,
But
right?
but the thing is,
Okay, okay. What about this situation? Suppose Sam, okay, like suppose Sam is a very good artist. Maybe she did this very nice, cute little artwork, and maybe me being her neighbor, I'm willing to pay like $500 for that artwork. Sam, would you sell it to me? Like, would you take that money and fall in trouble, or would you not? What are you going to do?
which type of trouble? That depends on that also. It shouldn't be that big trouble, no? If
I
it's
mean, that's
just
what I was talking about. Like, is it going to be trouble? Like, suppose you're going to be paid for stuff you're good at.
See, if it's not going to have any trouble, then definitely I'll get the $500. I think that's more than enough. But the question is here that who is going? if we talk specifically from India, then who wants to go from India to USA to sell handkerchiefs to,
Oh, no, no, no.
they
As a
want to
student,
work,
like
no?
as a student,
No,
I'm
Yes,
going to
she
that's
school
what
as
I'm
a
saying.
no,
student
no,
and
no.
I'm
She
just
she
good at it.
means she means if somebody's trying to, if they have that creativity in them, if they have that
Mhm.
skill in them, and and if and also the neighbor knows about it, and the friends knows about it, and then maybe you have one of your friend whose parents know about your skill, right? And
Mhm.
then she's saying that you make that painting or you make that artwork, and then maybe your neighbor is saying that, why don't you sell it to me? Then this is what she wants to know, that would you be interested in then selling that painting or selling that artwork to Nipasa, if
And
that
see
is the
that,
case.
yeah, of course. See, if there's no trouble or no problem, then definitely, why won't I be selling that if I'm getting good amount? So, that's easy for me also as a student to work to, I mean, not to work that much, but to get money and to also have a student life. I think that will be easy also, no, to work like that.
I mean, I wish it was it was actually this easy, right? I really wish, and especially for the student. I mean, if they can really
Yeah.
find, such a skill out of which they can also make some money, wouldn't that be
Of
great?
course. But one more thing that guys I would like to share, that if we talk about the challenges that students mostly face, there's also a thing that on top of all that, some companies are also being pushed to specially hire the local US workers first. And this is also known that hire Americans first. Now the policy is obviously, but before coming to this policy also, it was also the thing that US companies were preferring to hire local companies. That when I talked to one of the attorneys, he said that the foreign workers, the foreign I mean the H-1B workers, they are more loyal to US companies than the US employees themselves. So, but still, US employees are giving that preference to Americans first. But I think they should look for the loyalty rather than looking for the nationality. I don't know, it's a big comment that I'm commenting, but what do you think that how the employees should be hired? Should they be hired on the basis of their loyalty, or should they be hired on the basis of that, yes, they are local?
But when you're hiring, how would you judge if one person is loyal or not? I mean, how would you know?
Yeah,
But
exactly. And I think when you're hired, they just look at your skill, I mean, how good you are with the skill set of the job requirement, right?
Mhm.
That's the only thing people look at, I think, first. Then, I mean, then the rest
Right. And
follow.
when
I
you are
mean,
getting
not the
interviewed,
only
you say
thing.
anything and everything to get the job, right?
No,
So
that's
yeah, the interviewer is, if somebody is asking you if you're willing to work 24 hours a day, then just to get that job, people say that, yeah, I'm also willing to work, but then they're not even working for 8 hours a day. So things like that also come into play when we talk about these things. So we can't really know that if the person is going to be
Loyalty.
loyal
Yeah.
enough or is going to be, but of course you will have to look for the skill, that is for sure,
yeah.
that one will have to look. But Sam, I think nationality and these things will always come first. Even if you talk about not just US but any country, they are going to prefer their own people, and I don't see anything wrong in it. I don't.
Of course, no, no, there's nothing wrong in this. But one more thing, that there's also a statement that was made by one of the attorneys. They said that H-1B workers, there's no guarantee for their work, even if they're working. But still, if their employer decides that he's not working and he will reject, then they have to leave that country then and themselves. So I'm not talking about the nationality. You prefer your local people, you give importance to your nationality, but if the candidate is deserving, then you shouldn't also exploit them the way, because they are
True.
leaving the country. That's the point that I would like to make. So I think that's also very important to talk about, right?
No, no, absolutely. See, if that's the case, I don't think so. I mean, there shouldn't be any two ways about it. I mean, if a person is on H-1B and is skilled enough, is talented enough,
Right.
then choosing somebody over over a talent, and choosing somebody just so because they are from that country, and
Hmm.
not choosing the person who is skilled enough. I mean, that's of course exploiting
It's going to be a loss for the
the
company who's
person.
hiring
Right,
only. I
absolutely.
mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
But then also, Sam, we don't really know what they if that is actually exploitation or what actually they are looking for. Maybe they are looking for somebody to hire from their own country or their own people. Maybe they're looking for someone like that. We don't really know, right? But if they are actually exploiting them, so exploitation is, I mean, that
Mm,
shouldn't happen, whether H-1B or
any
any
day.
visa,
Yeah.
right? That's a big no.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I
So
mean,
I
we are talking about countries, but I mean, even if you look at a small community or a small province,
Mhm.
they will prefer people from their province first and then give preference to the rest later following. That's
And
what
I think
happens everywhere.
that's how it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that, but that being said, the skills also matter, of course. I mean, you filter people who are skilled for that job vacancy, and of course you see first if they are available in your province, then you see how good they are, and
Mhm.
maybe if they deserve it, then why not? But if there are better people from elsewhere who can do the same job I don't know if there is any other more optimal, I mean, way to do the work, then of course they should prefer that. I mean, them.
What I think is, I think an employer is always going to look who is beneficial for their company or for.
Yes, exactly.
So if they think that, I mean, see, if nobody would want to, actually get into laws, or would actually trying to, I mean, if everybody is doing business at the end of the day, right? So everybody wants to
Yes.
make profit, and if somebody is, whoever they are going to hire, they will always look for talent, and they will look for the skills. And if an employer is thinking that this person is going to be beneficial for their company, I think so they are going to hire that person. And if they are not, then, I mean, then okay, if you're ready to make losses, and if you're okay that you're willing to hire somebody who's not skilled and looking for the nationality, and you're choosing somebody over a
Yeah,
person.
Overskill.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay then if that's your choice. But I think an employer will always know better. They will know that what is actually good for their company and what is actually bad for their company.
absolutely.
So this is what I think.
And guys, there's also
We also
some.
received another voice message from Dan. So
Oh,
Sam,
yeah.
maybe you can play that.
I was just about to say that only.
All right, let's hear it.
Mhm.
Okay, guys, so this is the voice note that we received from our president, Dan.
Nipa, you have a great point. What about people who are like musicians, or they're craftsmen who have an extra talent? Can they earn money while being a student or an H-1B worker? The straightforward answer is no, because they need a work permit to perform any activity and make some money. So they need to have like an open work permit, what they call. There's, open work permit concept is in Canada, but in the US, it's, a proper employment authorization document, which, they have received via, say, H-40AD or pending green card and stuff like that. So the OPT, STEM OPT or OPT EAD, it restricts their employment to the course of study. Likewise, H-1B as well also restricts them from doing an odd job, which where they're making some extra money. And unfortunately, even if they are doing voluntary work, if somebody's on an H1, um, that needs to be approved as well. They need to have some kind of a, for example, a concurrent H-1B, or there is nothing like, voluntary concurrent H-1B where they're not getting paid. So it's a gray area in terms of, how the system works. But then, many lawyers say it's okay to be a volunteer for a charity. But, technically, I have read this concept on um, several immigration, books. They need to employer needs to advertise, and if a U.S. worker like a U.S. citizen or a green card, is not willing to take this job as a volunteer, then there are uh, other ways. So the straightforward answer, talking about a guitarist, trying to play a guitar, entertaining people, making money, that's also considered employment. So that's not possible. And if somebody's, I have seen videos on the internet, on YouTube actually, where, one guy was posting as how to legally make money. He says, um, you can run online business and you can still make money. No, because you need to have a work permit for that. And and then I definitely I want to alert people, don't fall prey for such videos, and you're just gonna get in trouble. I know it's great to make money, but you don't want to engage into any activity where you're exposed or exploited. So be careful, my friends. Once again, good luck, and if you need to talk to your student counselor if you're a student, or you need to talk to an attorney if you're an H-1B, if you are going to be engaging in a different job. So the good news for H-1B workers is there is always an opportunity to file an H-1B, a concurrent H-1B, which may not be exactly the same as what you do now. It can be completely different as long as that qualifies as a specialty occupation, which needs specialized knowledge with a bachelor's degree. So, good luck with that. Uh, Stay safe.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam, for your answer. It was very insightful, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Very much, yeah. Thank you.
And I
So,
think
Nepal,
that's a good,
what's your answer?
yeah, I think that was a good note actually to maybe to wrap things up with. Because I also jumped in out of nowhere, so I was listening to the both of you, and then I thought to give my 2 cents on this topic. But it was nice being here, Napas and Sam. Thank you so much for having me, and hopefully I'll see
Same
you,
here, same here.
yeah, tomorrow
Thank you
also.
so much, actually, Rajni. It was really lovely having you and your
Really,
point of views and your ideas. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
really.
so
Thank you
much.
so much, Rajni. It was great having you. All right. So, Napasa, I think today we really had so much fun. We talked about so much, and also we got to know different point of views. Also, how it's going to be, and what different struggles that mostly students
Yes.
face in the US, and what are the different types of challenges that they came through, and what are the different cultures. Also, we talked about India and US also. So, I think it was a
Mhm.
great session, and we really enjoyed. So. Any ending note from your side, Napasa, that you would like to share with our viewers?
I think all I can say is, stay true to yourself and to the law, whatever law, the rules, the regulations, follow each one of them and stay out of trouble, play safe. I think that's all I can say. And of course, stay hopeful. There's a lot that can happen, but I think as long as you are doing the right thing, you're on the right path, you are legal, you have all your documents correct, and you know what to do. I think it's always very, very important to stay updated, and for that you have to do your research daily because things are changing, and with administrations changing, there are lots of updates daily, and you can get yourself ready that way, and of course stay safe and stay updated. That's all I have to say, Sam. And what about you?
I think we have talked about the challenges, but there's a small time. I mean, a small thing that I would also like to speak about. That now, what are the solutions? So, guys, if you are a student and if you're watching this video, then there are some steps that you should follow to navigate these challenges. Firstly, you have to start early. So, basically, you have to apply for OPT and CPT as soon as to avoid delays. Secondly, you have to build a network. So guys, it is very important. Most of the students ignore this topic, but networking is a kind of a key to find job opportunities. So attend career fairs, connect with alumni, and definitely LinkedIn, keep it as your best friend. That's very important.
Mhm.
And consider internships. So internships, even unpaid, that's not a problem. Don't run behind the money. Even if it's unpaid, you go ahead and gain experiences. That's very important. And then lastly, as Napasa said, stay updated on all the visa options right here. So be aware of other visa options like the O1 for individuals and with the extraordinary abilities, or even considering other countries with more flexible work visa policies too. So I think, guys, this was the end note from my side, also with the solutions, what you have to look for. And yeah, stay updated with all the information. And we have talked a lot about this, how the work authorization challenges are a big deal for international students nowadays. So yeah, I think that's it for today's show. And guys, if you still have any questions, or would like to participate, please go ahead, dial this number that is visible on the screen. You can comment us, and you can also click on the link that has been shared on the comments, and we will be here to welcome you again. So yeah, that's from my side, Napasa.
Thank you so much, really, everyone. I think we've spoken a lot today. So you've got the idea. All I can say is like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are Immigration and Jobs Talk Show. And hit that bell icon so that whenever we have discussions like these, you can participate. You can also check us out because we have attorneys joining us and we discuss on different various topics on immigration daily. So don't miss out on all these awesome webinars we have with these amazing and insightful attorneys who join us, with all their knowledge they have to share with us, and of course, their experiences as well. So, thank you so much once again. And Rajendra, it was really lovely having your comments.
Yeah.
Thank you for participating, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow you could also join us. Best thing about this daily immigration dose is any one of you can join us, whether on video or on audio, and you can share your point of view on the topic of discussion. So I think that is it for now. Thank you so much. Yes, this is Nipasa and Sam saying bye for now. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you so much, everyone. Good luck.